Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we have an update on the murder investigation from the MSC cruise ship. Well, believe it or not, now a second person has been taken into custody and charged. We also have a kind of a fun story here of a couple who met probably under a very frustrating circumstance. And, well, they just got married. And, yeah, it's a weird story, but it's a happy story. Let me explain that one. Royal Caribbean is extending their cancellation of one port right up through the summer. And then we also have Costa. And Costa is just announced getting rid of another ship. And they're going to be down to 9 ships in the fleet, and I don't know of any more being built. But wow, that's 25% of their fleet gone in the last 3 years. So, as one man was charged from that unfortunate encounter on the, what I'll call the booze cruise, the bachelor party and the bachelorette party, 2-day cruise on an MSC ship, and apparently the booze was flowing, folks, and 2 people got into an altercation, a 60-year-old and a 57-year-old, and unfortunately, the 60-year-old, whatever happened, passed away. And the 57-year-old, of course, was arrested and is now out on bail while the investigation is going on. Well, the investigation's gone on that they now arrested a second person, another 56-year-old man, and they have now charged that person with manslaughter, and they are currently still in custody. So, yeah, this is an ever-evolving story. There must be hundreds and hundreds of video footage to watch, go through and scour through, not to mention how many people they have to interview and call that were on the ship that might have witnessed it, and the crew members, etc. This is going to be a lengthy one, folks, but now a second person arrested in that unfortunate incident on MSC Cruise Line. Next, let's talk about Royal Caribbean and Labadee. Labadee, their private little area in Haiti set aside that has been under, they canceled it and then they restarted and then they canceled it again. Well, they've canceled it right through most of the summer now. They say they won't be going back. So it's become a real hot spot and a real danger zone for them. They don't want to take a chance on anything happening to passengers, even though it is away from where the vast majority of any of the violence and the dangers have happened. Why take a chance? And so they're sending people to other different itineraries and different ports instead of going to Labadee. So if you were hoping to go to Labadee next few months, chances are if you're on Royal Caribbean, you're not going there anytime soon. Now, Costa Cruise Line. Costa Cruise Line just said that they are selling the Fortuna to somebody in September of 2026. That is another ship leaving the Costa fleet. Once this ship leaves, they will be down to 9 ships from 13 just 3 years ago, where a few of the ships have now been moved over to the Carnival fleet and they've been incorporated into the Carnival brand. So yeah, their ships are getting smaller and smaller, like their fleet size, and now their ships are getting older and older, and I'm wondering, are they plans at all to build any more ships for the Costa fleet, or are you going to start seeing ships from Princess or Holland America or P&O moving over the Costa brand when they're bringing new ships on into their fleet? So, for instance, Princess brings on the Star Princess. Will they take one of the older Princess ships and now move it over to Costa because the other ships are leaving the Costa fleet? We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, don't hear too often of the cruise line shrinking, but that makes, from 13 ships down to 9 is 25% almost shortening of your fleet within a matter of 3 to 4 years. That's kind of a scary situation. And now we all remember the Villa V, the Residence cruise ship that was supposed to set sail, and then they had issues, and they ended up having people waiting in Belfast, waiting to get on the ship, and it ended up being delayed 4 months before the cruise ship, they just kept running into problem after problem after problem before it was finally able to set sail. Well, 2 people who were booked on this sailing and staying in Belfast are Angela and Gian, and they were basically, they would be staying in the hotels or wherever they put, but then they were allowed to go onto the cruise ship during the day when they were being, while the ships were being worked on, and they were able to get on and do the, work from the cruise ship, like do their Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff, so they wouldn't have to spend any extra more money. Well, they started meeting each other when they were, doing the transfer to the ship, and they became kind of friends. And then the next thing you know, they were hanging out all the time, becoming kind of like best friends. And then Gian proposed, and now they've just gotten married. So from a really stressful situation of, you've sold everything to live on a residential cruise ship, and the cruise ship isn't ready. Now you're in a hotel and everything, to meeting somebody and hopefully for the rest of your life, the love of your life, being, the person you met through this incident. And had the ship sailed on time, maybe they never would have became best friends. Yes, they would have been on the ship together and everything, but it's that closeness of traveling every day and laughing about things and talking about things and then working side by side. All that kind of contributes to your friendship and your build-up. And I wish them all the best. This is a pretty fun story. It's nice to see the good side when bad things happen. You can see the silver lining, right? Oh, this is horrible. We're all stressed out. What am I going to do? I have no place to live. And then you find your match. Kind of makes it all worthwhile. Kind of makes all the hardship and the trouble worthwhile. So I wish them all the best, and I hope they're enjoying their sailing on the Villa V residential cruise ship as it is sailing now. And yeah, kind of glad to see some good news come from a bad news story once in a while. Congratulations to Angela and Gia. Well, what do you guys think? Do you think Costa's going to take some ships from other cruise lines? Do you think Carnival's just going to let the ship brand die out? I don't know. They have 9 brands, remember? Do you think they really care? Or do you think at one point they're going to bring it down to a certain amount of ships and maybe try and sell the whole Costa line? Or are they going to start building some brand new Costa cruise ships? Very interested to see what happens with that. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. And until next time, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.